John Turchin. Need a mic? Oh. Not that mic. Huh? Yes, thank you.
Hey Canada, just so you all know, we're getting ready to start in a few minutes. They can hear us. They can hear us.
We're live, everybody. We're ready? My name is Dwayne Flournoy. I'm the Chief of Police with the City of Hallandale Beach. DWAYNEFLOURNOY. Today I'm flanked by the members of Donny Pichosky's family, who's traveled here to South Florida to announce the increase of the reward. I'm also flanked by a friend of Rochelle Wise, who's here to participate in today's press conference. As you know, on December 10th of last year, the murdered bodies of Donny and Rochelle Wise were located in their winter residence in the city of Hallandale Beach. Their death was ruled a homicide and the manner was asphyxiation. The Hallandale Beach Police Department has been investigating that case since that time. We've traveled to Canada and to other parts of Florida in the furtherance of this investigation. Currently, we're still waiting on results from the BSO lab for our crime scene. We have interviewed well over 50 people involved in this case, and we are still waiting on some DNA results from the Broward Sheriff's Office. We have also worked with other criminal justice agencies throughout Canada, the United States, and here locally. Recently, we've just partnered with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to assist us with this investigation. The supervisor in charge of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Miami Field Division is here to participate in this press conference as well, Addie Villanueva. We have also used the assistance of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, particularly their Behavior Analysis Unit, as well as their crime lab. Early on, we released a video of a female that was seen in and around the Pichosky Wise home on the morning we believe that they were compromised. We have yet to have that female identified. But what we have been able to do is have a forensic artist do a sketch of that female from the home video surveillance. That is a sketch of the female. We believe the identification of this female is critical and important to this case. Reason being that early on, we knew that there were multiple perpetrators involved in this homicide investigation. We have 2 DNA profiles that are crime scene specific to the murder of Donny and Rochelle. This DNA was introduced into the crime scene by the perpetrators. This DNA profile does not match anyone in the Pichosky family or the Wise family or anyone that would have had access into their residence, i.e. any workers, any maids, any maintenance individuals that would have been permitted into their home. The DNA profile that we collected, they are not related to each other. What we found to be very unique about the profile is that the DNA profiles are that of 2 females. Once again, I can only stress that this DNA profile is crime specific and was brought into the crime scene by the perpetrators. What we also have is that working with the FBI crime lab, we were able to recover a shoe print impression. The shoe print impression, once again, is crime scene specific and was brought to the crime scene by the perpetrators. We've reached out to the FBI. They've identified the outer sole of the footprint impression and identified it as an Adidas outer sole foot impression. And it was made in the year 2000 and has been out of production since the year 2000. So that means that this outer sole was last produced in the year 2000. It's particularly, or the largest model of shoe that it was used on is a shoe that was identified as the Supernova. S-U-P-E-R-N-O-V-A, Supernova. Also, as it relates to the DNA profiles, we have submitted the profiles to what is called CODIS, which is an index of all the DNA profiles that are collected by law enforcement agencies. We have not had a match inside of CODIS. Because of Donny and Rochelle's residence being in Canada and in Toronto, we've also submitted that to their DNA data bank to be compared, and we have no comparison there. The DNA profiles that we've introduced into CODIS is run daily, and in Canada it is run quarterly, and we have yet to get a match. What we also know is that the only item which is missing from the Pichosky Wise home is that ring that has been described belonging to Rochelle Wise, her wedding ring. It's white in color, has 5 diamonds and a half-shaped moon, and we have a forensic rendering of that ring as well. Once again, what is unique about that ring is that it has a clasp on the bottom of it, which allows it to be slid over the knuckle and then closed as it gets to the base of the finger. Rochelle had that particular ring made because of arthritis condition that she had, and the ring couldn't slide over the knuckle of her ring finger. Hallandale Beach Police Department is still investigating this case. We truly believe that there are 2 or more involved in this crime. We also believe that perhaps one of the individuals that participated in this crime perhaps is not as culpable as the other 2 involved. We are encouraging those that have information or is able to provide information in the furtherance of this case to please call Hallandale Beach Police Department. I will have Addie Villanueva make a quick statement. Then we're going to have Donny's daughter and his son make a quick statement. And then we'll have Ms. Gladman make a quick statement on the behalf of the Wise family. And then we'll come back up for questions.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. As the Chief said, my name is Addie Villanueva, and I'm the Special Agent in charge of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement here in this region. I first and foremost want to thank the family for coming such a long way to be here today, and I want to thank you, the media, for coming as well. It's a great turnout, and we absolutely can't and won't be able to do this without your assistance and having the public see what we have to say so that this case could be solved. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement was called sometime in November. The chief called and asked for our assistance. We are currently reviewing the entire file because, as we all know, 4 eyes are better than 2. We are also participating in the analytical process of it all. So other than what the chief had to say, I really don't have anything to add as far as the criminal investigation, but I do want to thank the chief for contacting us, and he, as well as the FBI and the entire law enforcement community, knows that we're here until this case is solved. And once again, thank you for being here. Okay. In Spanish
We'll do it
now or
after,
later?
because they're on the live feed. 21. No,
Hi, I'm appealing to the public or anybody who knows of this case to please come forward and speak to the police. Our families have no closure, and it would be a great help if we can get this case solved. Thank you. My name is Mark Pichosky. I'm Donny's son.
Hi, I'm Sari. I am Donny's daughter. And I just want to say that I lost my mother to cancer 7 years ago. My father was a lost man until he met Rochelle. This was both of their second chance at love and happiness. But on January 9, 2013, this second chance was torn away. As horrible as we all know murders are, we never think it would happen to someone we love. Over the past 12 months, we have learned to live in a new reality. The sun comes up, the birds may be singing, but for our family, every day is a nightmare. Our grandfather, was murdered. That's crazy. We have no peace. We have no closure. We have no understanding of why this has happened. I still have nightmares. I can't put aside what happened to them and have no chance of moving on. Nothing in our lives is normal anymore. When someone dies of natural causes, people often say it was God's will. When someone's life is taken by murder, one can only blame the murderer. We have no closure. The only thing I do know is that my family was robbed of their last living grandparent, who could have lived to see his grandchildren get married, could have been there for family birthdays, anniversaries. But now that was stolen from me and my family. We will not have our grandfather there. It's just not fair. Donny was a very special person, not only to my family, but to the community as well. He went weekly to visit the elderly and sick. Even when he was down in Florida for the winter, he always took a couple hours every Friday to call his group of people back home to see how they're feeling and wish them well. This special man was killed. He was my dad. And you only get one mom and dad in your lifetime, and mine was taken from me. My father was only 71 years old, and he had many years to live and enjoy with his wife and family. So at this time, I would like anyone who has information concerning the death of my father, Donny, and his wife, Rochelle, to please find the strength and conviction to do the right thing and come forward and tell the police what you know. Any information not only will help our family to peace, but you as well, knowing you have done the right thing, an honorable thing. May God bless those individuals who have the strength to come forward, and also those people who are working so hard to put the death of Donny and Rochelle to rest.
Good morning. My name is Pearl Gladman, and I was a very intimate and close friend of Rochelle's, and I would add Donny when Rochelle met Donny, because I remember very clearly the first time I met him. There were two very special people, and for me, as I said to Donny's kids, I've lost a very, very good friend that I can never replace. We were extremely close, and everyone needs someone to talk to cry with, to dance with, and I've lost that person. So like Donny's kids, I'm appealing to anybody out there. If you know anything at all that can help the Hallandale Police Department solve this senseless murder, because that's what it was, senseless. They had a whole life ahead of them. They were very special people. They loved Florida. They couldn't wait to come down here, and last year they even came here at the beginning of November and were planning to stay until after April. They really loved this place, and it hurts me so much to know that the place that they loved is where their life ended. Rochelle, it was home to her, and Rochelle being the teacher, as she always was, no matter what she did, she volunteered at a Hebrew academy not far from here and taught children who needed remedial help, and she went there once a week to volunteer. So this is the kind of people they were. Nobody should be murdered, and nobody should lose a mother, father, and friend. So again, I want to thank the Hallandale Police Department for all their work and for not letting this case go and for being on top of it. And really, if anybody out there knows anything, please come forward and help all of us put this to bed and deal with it that way. Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'll take some questions, and then we can have some questions of the family if you would like.
Chief, you said it's over. You're still waiting on results. Can you elaborate on that?
We're still waiting on submissions from the lab. We call them, we sent the lab because there was such an inordinate amount of evidence that was collected. They just couldn't process all of our submissions at one time, so we have 3 rounds of lab results. We've received 2 rounds back, and now we're waiting on the final round to come.
And talk a little bit more about, so you believe it's 2 female perpetrators? Is that what you're saying today?
And that's what the evidence tells us, and the science tells us, that there are 2 females that are involved in this homicide, at least 2.
What is that, without giving away too much? I mean, that's a pretty broad statement. How do you know that? Can you give us a feel for that?
Because the DNA profile comes specifically from the crime scene, particularly when a crime occurs. The perpetrators involved typically either bring something to the crime scene, take something away, or they do both. In this case, they've done both. They left their profile at this crime scene. And the way that DNA is now being captured, it's only a matter of time before we get our match. And we will get our match.
So you don't think they're in custody anywhere? You do think maybe they're in custody, or they'll eventually get in custody?
If they're in custody, eventually, as the way that we are now capturing DNA, is upon release, they will, their profile will be collected and submitted to the CODIS. Right now, it's not in CODIS. So that will show me that perhaps they have not been arrested or convicted of a felony within the last several years.
Tell us more about this. This is a sketch of that lady that we saw on the surveillance. So do you think that particular woman is connected, and how?
As we said early on, she's in and around the Pichosky's home about the time we believe that they were compromised. In that particular community, it's a very close-knit community. We have shown that video to everyone. No one knows who this lady is. Everyone over there knows everyone. This is a community of winter residents and some residents that have stayed there long term. So this is not a very transient community. It's a well-established community, and everyone knows everyone, to include everyone's workers and other families. So with her not being identified, with her being in and around the home, and with 2 female DNA profiles being inside of the crime scene, she's particularly someone that we want to speak with.
Talk to us about the motive and maybe where they spotted them, how they would have known them? What's your thought at this point, your theory?
From the victimology of Donny and Rochelle, they have no enemies. They did not carry large sums of money around them. They were not flashy. So we just have not been able to pinpoint the reason why someone would either target them or was it a crime of opportunity. We know that they were more than likely encountered in the early morning hours. So it wasn't that they were followed from somewhere. So we have not been able to establish why.
Did you see at what time that lady was spotted around the area?
I'm just gonna check. I think it was 9:07, approximately 9 a.m. that morning.
And the crime occurred around what time?
Well, we know that on January 9th, they're FaceTiming with Rochelle is FaceTiming with her daughter-in-law at approximately 8:14. So we know at 8:14 they both were alive on January 9th, 2013.
At this point, do you think they knew their attackers even vaguely, or you think this is just totally, they were spotted somewhere, went to Walmart somewhere, and just followed home? I mean, do you have any
We
theory on that?
we don't know. I think it's more likely that they did not know their attackers.
Hey, Chief, looks like you're taking this personally. Tell me how this crime happened in your community has affected how you feel.
Well, what I can share with you is that we had an opportunity to travel to Canada and to meet the family. And in meeting the family, we got an opportunity to learn about our victims. And they were very special people. To the point that even when we were in Canada and we just went to eat at a little small deli, that the Canadian residents knew who we were. So for them to know who we were, these people had to be special to their community. And my understanding, and the family can confirm this, but at their services, it was well over, somebody told me, 1,500 people at their services. Even if we were to divide that in half, $750 for each, who's gonna draw that attention? So they had to be they were very special people.
Can you tell us anything now about the manner of asphyxiation?
I can tell you that they were bound. I won't speak into the manner in which they were bound or the implements used to bound them, but they were bound in their home.
Chief, have there been any attempts at all to sell the ring anywhere? Have you tracked anything that gives you any indication they are trying to pawn this?
We have not had that indication. We have checked the local pawn shops, we've checked the local jewelers, and we've had no luck in identifying this particularly unique style of wedding ring.
Are you able to say that was the only thing taken, and were there any attempts to use credit cards, anything like that,
No attempts to use credit cards. That's the only item that we've been able to identify that is missing and not accounted for.
And yet that doesn't make sense. I mean, how do you approach that as somebody in law enforcement?
Well, once again, it's a very complex case. When we've brought in our team to assist us with it, everyone says this is a very complex case. You have a profile of two females inside of a double homicide. That in itself is unique.
Talk about that, a violent crime, it doesn't fit the profile at all, that two women are the main suspects.
Or two women that are involved. Yeah, it doesn't match typically what happens in homicide cases.
Chief, regarding the
Yes.
57,000.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to, and also we have, through some private donations, that the reward has been increased from $57,000 up to $50,000, $57,000, along with the assistance of the Broward County CrimeStoppers. That's the total reward, up from $50,000. Yeah, and the call and the tip has to come through CrimeStoppers to law enforcement.
Is there anything that indicates at all by some of their actions or anything they've done or any new investigation that these people are from here or they live in the States as opposed to live outside?
We haven't been able to draw a connection to local or non-local residents. We are still actively investigating some leads, but we have no definitive suspects now, other than, I can say we have a string of profiles as a string of numbers. If you want to call that string of numbers our suspects, those are our persons of interest, that string of numbers.
Those towns are so close together, isn't it bewildering that nobody in broad daylight saw anybody, saw a car, don't you find that?
Yes. That's an indication that we believe that they were perhaps in the crime scene a considerable amount of time.
And no car description?
No car description, no.
How about that gate that goes, did you get anything on a plate there?
No, no ma'am.
And what is the shoe size of that?
We were unable to give a shoe size. In fact, what's also important is that that sole is made for male and female. But because of the impression there, it's not a complete footwear impression, so we're unable to determine size.
But is it a larger size, smaller size?
We were unable to determine.
Are you frustrated?
Absolutely not, because we're going to solve this case. I told you guys we're going to solve this case, right? We're going to solve this case. Yeah.
What do you hope that the FDLE will help you with in this case?
Well, what FDLE brought was a tremendous amount of resources and analytical resources, because we have a tremendous amount of data. What they also do is, in essence, extends the jurisdiction beyond Hallandale. And once you get these complex investigations, instead of involving multiple jurisdictions, you go to the jurisdiction which has the largest jurisdiction to help you. And with the FDLE having statewide jurisdiction, I made the choice to partner with them to extend our jurisdiction beyond Broward County. I'll let the family, if anyone wants a question of the family.
I would, if it's okay with you, mentioned you were the last on Facebook. Can we talk just briefly about that for a moment?
It's up to you.
I think I told the police everything about that Facebook conversation, and they know everything. I'm confident I've given them everything they
I'm
need.
looking for you to just talk to the kids, but just about you and what you talk
If you want, maybe she'll do a one-on-one afterwards. Do we have anything else? Because I know that we're running live.
We were just trying to save her the time of going through it over and over, so just if you could kind of give us a feel for what you talked about.
I'm Suzanne Pichosky. I was sitting waiting for my kids to wake up in Orlando, and I just called to say good morning to them. And that's basically what I said, how we had the best vacation. We'd been with them for 2 weeks. It was the greatest time. We missed them already, and that we were having a great time at Disney. And they were happy and smiling, and I said good morning to them. I spoke to them often. Thank you.
Any other questions? As always, thank you guys for your and ladies. Thank you for your help. Yes, Major Honan do the Spanish portion for you. All right. Mamacito. Thank you. So I had it in my notes to put in there.
Well, let him start and then I'll
Okay.
And please don't remove the sketches.
Huh?
Don't remove anything.
Okay. Thomas.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah, yeah, no, but I'm waiting